Hello. Hello. Okay, so this is day one of Parent Revolution, our new Facebook group, and I am so delighted that you're here. If you're seeing this and you're not already a member of the Parent Revolution Facebook group, I encourage you to please come on over and join that group now. We have room at this time. The group is specifically for parents of 7th through 12th graders. Typically the sweet spot for the families that I work with are 9th, 10th, 11th, and early in the 12th grade year. And a lot of the strategies and information I'll be sharing, and also the community we'll be building will be scaffolded around things that I know are of great concern to you, right? You know, if you're anything like me, you really want to do whatever you can to help your students have a great future. And of course, there's not a one size fits all for that. So let me start by saying, I understand that college is not the right fit for everyone. If you are a parent and none of your sons or daughters are interested in college, then this group isn't for you. This group is specifically for the college bound, college aspiring, college curious. I'm going to be helping distill information that I think is not really widely enough understood. I do this through the lens of data. Everything that I present to you is going to be very, very much data focused. So I've got a chart I'll be sharing with you today on just what's been happening in this current admission cycle, which I think you'll find very interesting. It's like, my gosh, you guys, what a crazy world. So I thought as we get started, maybe the most important piece of this is to take a step back, because certainly in this group, my goal is going to be to give you very actionable steps that you can take to differentiate your son or daughter in the admissions process. Things that families typically pay me to do, I'm going to be I want to give that away to you. So that's what this group is here for. This is obviously an area that I'm very passionate about. Probably a good idea to take a minute just to tell you a little bit about myself and why I am passionate about this. This group is not going to be talking about me, but this is day one. Some of you don't know me. So hello, I'm Pamela Donnelly. I have been an educator for over 20 years. I started in a classroom, and a lot of my early experiences were in large public schools. New York City. I did my student teaching. If you've ever seen the movie Fame, there's a high school there called the LaGuardia High School for the Performing Arts. And I was doing my undergrad at Columbia, and they allowed me to do my student teaching. My first time teaching was at the Fame School, excuse me, right there at Lincoln Center. So that was pretty exciting. And I immediately could see, you know, like trying to teach the Odyssey to 9th graders who are then going over to dance the ballet or, you know, sing, perform. Some of them had Broadway roles. It was a pretty amazing environment there for me. And what I noticed is just the split focus that a lot of the students had, the fact that not all kids were getting equal time and equal access to the kind of information that would have prepared them for college readiness, because of course a lot of them were already career bound. As I continued in my career, I was state certified in New York. I then went on to teach in Northern Virginia. There were, you know, thousands and thousands of kids from a wide sort of spectrum of economic privilege and lack of privilege. Many second language learners, many students with special needs. It was just such an interesting place to sort of cut my teeth as an educator and to understand the real diversity of the need that's there. And every student needs something different. So regardless of who your son or daughter is, their best advocate is you. And it's important that you hear that just dropping them off before days of Zoom at the corner of the high school and assuming that they're going to get everything they need to be able to position themselves. That is just not true, unfortunately. It would be great if we lived in that world. I'm sad to tell you we don't live in that world. The current situation is if your student is in high school, in a public school, there is an organization here in the US. It's called the National Association of College Admissions Counselors, NACAC. And they have recommended that the maximum number of students that should have a single counselor in any school is 250 to 1. National average is 482 to 1. Let that sink in for a second. There's a reason that you want to avail yourself of strategies. You are that's why we're calling this Parent Revolution. You're the one who is going to hold your student's hand step by step through a process. And I am here to help you. And that's what this is all about, you guys. So I'm just so delighted that you're here. Just the remainder of my story, once I was no longer teaching, is I moved from the East Coast out to LA in 2007. Shortly thereafter, opened up my first business. It's a tutoring agency based in Burbank, California. And it's called Valley Prep Tutoring. And they're sponsoring what we're doing here. So thank you, Valley Prep. And I have had 2 other academic services type businesses that I've also started. One was an educational technology company called Gate, and the other is my personal consulting practice. But take a look at what happened this year. This is the increase in early decision and early action applications. I mean, you guys, if that doesn't tell the story, I don't know what does. And I'm guessing that some of you can look at this and draw some conclusions. In fact, if you want to share any of the thoughts about why this would be what we have going on, I would love to know what you think about that. I am just absolutely convinced that a lot of this has to do with having gone test optional this past year because of the pandemic. And of course, these are highly selective, the most selective schools in the country. Columbia, there you go, Yale, Cornell, UVA. But I'm telling you that the test optional change and the big rush to apply into these schools, there's a big problem with this as sort of a realistic strategy for a lot of students. The idea when a parent says to me, and this often happens when I'm having like a first, I'll do like a little free consult and also tell me about your student. Oh, he's wonderful. He has and then they'll give me their GPA and I'll say, well, that's great. I love to hear kids that are working hard and get good grades. But here's what the college admissions officers know. There is so much grade inflation today. Oh my goodness, you guys. The data on that is pretty crazy. So when you're looking at these numbers and you're saying, well, look at this huge increase, and so many, if not all of these students would have gone test optional, by the way. What a lot of students with privilege did was to travel, to still find a way to take the test and then submit, because optional doesn't mean test blind. There is such a thing as test blind. There are a handful of colleges in the US that are test blind, meaning that even if you send it, they won't look at it. But in the test optional year that we had, this was what happened. And because on the other side of the desk, and so many of my staff members and friends and colleagues in my networking groups, they're professionals from the other side of the desk at major universities. Because at the end of the day, guys, this really is a competition. Can all those people get into Harvard and MIT? No, they cannot, because there is a finite amount of resources. And so that scarcity, of course, if you know anything about economics and supply and demand, the scarcity of spaces and then this, influx of applicants, I think, there's a failure to understand what the sort of premise on the other side of the desk is. And a lot of that has to do with, okay, how do I have sort of a third-party way to verify. You want to know that so that you can be tactical in how you advise your son or daughter, how you think about dedicating your own resources and time to helping them, or to be able to say, maybe this path isn't for us at all. Let's start figuring out a career readiness pathway. Let's figure out a trade school pathway. There are so many great options out there. But for the truly college determined, there is just a lot that you need to know here. So that is that piece of info. And there are strategies all along the way. I'm going to give you an action item because hey, I can. And I think it's so important that you not just passively sit there. This is not a transactional thing, you guys. Your challenge of the day. And here's your challenge. Your challenge is to go through this as your action item and to think about these 8 different sections of the application's process rather, and decide for yourself, what are the areas where you feel that you have reasonable competency as a parent to help your son or daughter through this? And what are the areas where you actually might need a little support figuring it out? And again, in this group, we'll be talking about each of these topics. Of course, not specific to your student, but we'll be talking about them. So you can see there in no particular order, I'm asking you to organize these according to what feels most important to you. So whether it is financial aid, whether it's understanding the essays process, helping them choose the right schools, helping them figure out the right major, just go ahead and take a look at this. You can screenshot it if you want. If you want to begin a little notebook, a Parent Revolution notebook, I think that might be great. At some point, I'm planning on creating workbooks that I can share with those who stay with us in the group. But for now, take a look at those 8 items. Be aware that you need to be reasonably fluent in those items, and ask yourself, okay, how much do I know about these? What information do I need to understand about these? Certainly that first one, I'll begin increasing your understanding tomorrow, because we'll be talking about financial aid. That kind of takes us to the end of our time today. I want to say thanks for showing up. And hey, we're here at Parent Revolution. So if you're seeing this on another outlet, the place to find the group is facebook.com/groups/Parent Revolution.